Hi, welcome to another episode of First Chapter Friday. My name is Lucy, and the book that I am going to be reading the first chapter from today is called The Marvelers, and this is by Dhonielle Clayton. And this book is the first in a new series called The Marvelverse. It is an adventure fantasy that is so much fun to read. So The Marvelers is about an 11-year-old named Ella Durand, and she is making history as the first conjurer to be accepted into the Arcanum Training Institute, which is a school for marvelers. And this is where she can learn to become a marveler. So Ella gets to this institute and finds it difficult for a lot of reasons. First of all, she's the only conjurer there, so she's not accepted by a lot of people. There's a real prejudice against conjurers from the marvelers. And one of the things that Clayton does in this book that's so brilliant is that really mirrors closely anti-Black racism in this country. Clayton does that throughout this book, sort of brings in this social commentary that incorporates real-world history around discrimination, around privilege, around marginalization, stereotyping. It's all very clear, but it's not heavy-handed at all. Conjurers are people who live in the underworld, and Ella's father is sort of the leader of the conjurers. He's a big politician there. The underworld here is not, as you might think, it's more of a place that helps people pass through their death to become the souls that they should be. It's an environment about crossing and passing through. And it involves its own set of magic, whereas the marvelers in their world have their marvels. Another interesting thing is that the conjurers, as I said, theirs is the underground world. The marvelers' world is a world in the sky. Ella does make some friends, a few, and she has some favorite teachers at the institute. And then a marveler from the past who went bad and abused her power and who was imprisoned for life has escaped from prison. The conjurers are blamed by the marvelers for this escape. And Ella and her friends become mixed up in this and other mysteries, both in the solving part of the mystery and in that Ella fights accusations against her, which are unfairly given constantly because she is a conjurer. So all the while throughout the adventure and the mystery, Ella is heading towards discovering her own magic and how she fits into this world as both a conjurer and a marveler. The world building in this book is so great, and it is filled with a really diverse group of characters. In the afterword, Dhonielle Clayton talks about being a Black girl and reading fantasy and never seeing herself in that. And so this is a world that has a lot of diverse peoples and a lot of diverse cultures represented. So I am going to read part of chapter 1 because it is relatively long. So before the first chapter, there is a letter that is sent to Ella from the Arcanum Training Institute for Marvelous and Uncanny Endeavors, Lower School. Salutations and greetings of the most magnificent kind. We are thrilled to inform you that you've been accepted into the Arcanum Training Institute for Marvelous and Uncanny Adventures. Only the marvelous can attend. It is an honor to be chosen by the heads of the Arcanum, and this invitation means that you demonstrate what it takes to join us. But remember, only your work will guarantee that you can earn the proper degrees to stay with us. Once your star post arrives in the Starry, you will receive a message noting the coordinates of the Level 1's STARDUSTPIER and the institution's location this year. All the light to you and yours. Good marveling. Laura Ruby, Executive Assistant to Head Marveler McDonald and Head Marveler Rivera of the Lower School. P.S. No fuels allowed. If you share this letter with a non-marveler, it shall disintegrate into dust. Don't test it. You will regret it. Part 1, A Brand New World. Chapter 1, The Luck Route. Marvelous. The lucky kids got called that. Praise like honey drizzled on hot biscuits. But Ella's family didn't believe in gassing you up. Clothes ironed, make your bed, clean your plate, and most importantly, did you mind your business so nobody was minding you? Even now, during the greatest, the awesomest, the most spectacular thing that had ever happened in all 11 years of Ella Durand's life, her parents were squabbling and telling her what to do. Did you use the hangers? Gran pressed those mantles herself after the old iron did a poor job, her mama said. I don't want to see them wrinkled. 3 juju trunks floated in the middle of the Durans' living room with all of Ella's things neatly arranged and ready for inspection. Their silk linings glowed as a good fortune spell infused itself into her belongings. Yes, Mama, Ella replied, annoyed. The conjure cameo? Her papa asked. Yes, Papa. She patted her chest, the carved medallion of her parents' faces tucked just beneath her shirt. And the braid hands? Ella pointed at the vanity case where a wax copy of her mother's hands sat. Of course. Mama tugged one of Ella's long twists. I won't have my baby so far away with her head looking a mess. I spelled them with your favorite styles. You remember how to work them? Their waking song? Yes. Arbiel, my sweet, she has everything she needs. Papa looked above his newspaper, the Conjure Picayune. He tapped his black top hat, which made the ring of tiny human skulls on its brim smile at her. We should get a move on. Mama sighed. Sebastian, I still don't know about this. That sparked their 80 millionth argument about Ella attending the Arcanum Training Institute for Marvelous and Uncanny Endeavors. Ella plugged her ears. They'd been fussing all summer. Mama and Gran wanted her to stay home and continue to attend Madame Colette's Conjure École. The whole community was conflicted about whether she should be going. But Papa thought it was time for a new adventure, and she was more than ready to leave home. Everyone went silent as Gran's rooster companion, Payan, marched in from the gallery porch and crowed. Y'all, quit all that hollering. You hear? Gran shouted through the window. You're ruining a perfectly good sunset. The second line is loud enough. The parades are doing too much this year. Ella hid her smile. Can we put my trunks in the car now? I'm coming. Her little sister Winnie burst into the room. Her own little juju trunk tailed her, the edges of it spilling over with toys. Ella scowled at her. We've been over this 1,000 times. You're too little. Fine, but can I see your letter again? Winnie gazed up at her. But you've got to read it to me. I don't like to read, Winnie whined. Then you can't see it. I just want to look at it, Winnie pouted. A deal is a deal. Okay. She stomped her tiny foot. Okay. Ella's hand relaxed, and with a sigh she gave up the letter. Winnie fingered the night-black envelope like it was a slice of hummingbird cake, her mouth salivating, ready to gobble it up. She tilted it left and right to see it twinkle, squealing as the envelope's 5 symbols winked. An eye blinked, a mouth smiled and poked out a tongue, an ear wiggled, a tiny hand waved, and a little heart pulsed. That was Ella's favorite part, too. The 5 paragons of marveling. She couldn't wait to learn what was marvelous about her and to join a group based on her talents. Winnie pinched the Stardust seal and opened it, then began to read. Ella would never get over how amazing it sounded. Her very own invitation, her very own chance to be a marveler. How do you get a marvel? Winnie asked. You're born with one. They come from your family or community. Papa cleared his throat. Many marvelers I know have chosen their marvel as well. Ella whipped around. I didn't read that. Much to learn, baby girl. Papa returned to his paper. What will mine be? That had been the question Ella had toyed with all summer. A conjure marble, of course. Mama replied like it wasn't even a question. There's coupons in here too. Did you see them? They move and the numbers keep changing like they're fighting with one another. This one says it has the cheapest weather jars. Wait. No, now it's that one. Winnie's eyes grew wide. Ella was amazed by the wiggling coupons and their incessant battles. Sonia's splendiferous sundry now boasted the most affordable astrolabes, and the prices from Woodfolk's wondrous wares flickered angrily. I want to go too, Winnie begged. I want to marvel. Maybe I can talk to mer people. Ella swiped the invitation back. Don't ruin everything, okay? Papa shot Ella a look and picked Winnie up like she was nothing more than a scoop of chocolate ice cream. Cricket, in just 5 years, we'll be packing you up too, the second you turn 11. If everything goes all right, Mama whispered under her breath, but Ella chose to ignore that. Of course everything would be fine, better than fine, spectacular, in fact, marvelous indeed. Winnie sniffled and buried her face in Papa's shirt. His bullfrog companion, Greno, croaked as she climbed out of his pocket and got all tangled up in his long locks, while Mama's chubby alligator, Gumbo, tromped into the room, then nosed around Ella's open juju trunk as if he were the missing piece. Is it really in the sky? How does it even float? Isn't an institution too heavy to fly? When he asked. What are Marvillians like? Can we go to their cities? You'll see, my beloved. Papa tried to calm her down. You'll see. And that is where I'm going to end, even though there is more. You can see how engrossing the writing is and how rich the characters are already. And you also get a glimpse of the marvelous world that Ella is headed to. So that is The Marvelers by Dhonielle Clayton, and I really enjoyed it. I hope that you read it. I'm so looking forward to the second book in the series coming out so I can keep reading more of the Marvelverse. Thanks for joining me.